Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever virtual and remote episode of The Rundown, the show where sports, as always, fuel the entertainment. I'm Brett Schaubs, once again alongside Jack Ryan. Jack, a little bit of an unusual episode today. Obviously, we're not in the studio filming our usual stuff with Taunton High Sports, with all of them being canceled due to the coronavirus concerns and the pandemic. So we hope all of you guys at home are watching and staying safe as we are as well. And we have a nice little plan, a top five here to show you guys today for our first ever virtual episode. And Jack, I hope you're ready as I am, because I think this list is pretty good, and I think we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, all the sports fans are bummed right now. There's not really too much going on. All the sports are down, but those classic games, those replay games are always fun to watch. You got to look into those every now and then. So be good. They've been showing some good ones.
All right, so let's get right into it with our first classic game. If you want to tune into it, go right ahead. It is the Super Bowl between the St. Louis Rams and the Tennessee Titans. It was the greatest show on turf. The St. Louis Rams, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warren. I mean, you name it, they had the offensive weapon going up against Steve McNair and his Titans. I mean, Jack, you can't get any closer than losing a Super Bowl by 1 yard. I mean, what do you think about that?
It's incredible, and that image, of the ball being held, right in front of the goal line, that'll live on in NFL history forever. That is one of, definitely a top five Super Bowl all time. Definitely one of the greatest games ever. It was a fantastic game all through, and it came down to that last final stop, and it really comes down to the goal line.
Agreed. So definitely it was a tough loss for the Titans. I mean, it'd be their only Super Bowl appearance in the last 20 years. I believe it is now. Jeff Fisher, obviously no longer with the Titans and out of the league, and McNair unfortunately passed away. So tough loss for the Titans there. But, it was a great bowl, and it's always fun to look back at that game.
Always is.
So, yeah. So let's move into number 4 here. This is throwing it back to, I know, 6 years, 2014, to the Game 7 matchup between the Los Angeles Kings and the New York Rangers, when it not one, but 2 overtimes. And Alec Martinez put in the game-winning goal to bring home the second franchise Stanley Cup for the Los Angeles Kings. I remember watching this game in my head over and over again, and I can't fathom how Alec Martinez managed to get that perfect rebound and the perfect goal. I mean, it's a storybook ending for his career.
It's crazy. Definitely one thing missing right now is hockey. And, you definitely looking ahead for playoff hockey. That's my favorite type of year. The emotions going out on the ice, hitting each other, the beards being grown. It's awesome. But that was a great Stanley Cup. The 2014, you had a rivalry that was being built between the Kings and the Rangers. And that Game 7, it came down to, 2 overtimes. You can't get any closer to you score a goal, you win you win the Stanley Cup. That's all the emotions are on the line that moment. And you saw them all came through when the puck goes in the net. It was something incredible to watch. And the Kings got their second.
Yep, that was exactly it. I mean, like you said, just the adrenaline rushes through, and you don't know what's going on until it happens. I mean, it's just so fast. And Alec Martinez, I don't know, I can't imagine how he was feeling at that moment in time. So let's move on to number 3 here. It's not really just one game. It's more of a series of games. We have the 2008 NBA Finals. It was Paul Pierce and his Celtics against Kobe Bryant and his Lakers. One of the best series that the Celtics ever played, and the most franchise championships in NBA history. And, definitely one that, we can remember, and it was one of the best and one of the only championships we've witnessed.
Yeah, that's the best that basketball I think can get. It's a classic, 1970s matchup. You have the great Celtics team against the great Lakers team. You have a rivalry. You have stars. You have, Kobe and Pierce, and it comes down to that Game 7. And, it was a fantastic series. There was comeback games. There was, nail-biting games. There was everything in that series. And Kevin Garnett said it at the end, anything is possible. It's been the only Celtics championship, we've been lucky enough to see, but it was a great championship, and I'm so happy that I was able to see that one.
Agreed, Jack. I mean, it was definitely an amazing one to watch. I mean, seeing the Celtics go up against Kobe Bryant, unfortunately passing away because of that horrific accident. But, to some of the greatest of all time just in that game. I mean, you think about it, like we said, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant,
Two,
just so
two,
many.
two players going into the Hall of Fame this year, Kevin Garnett and Kobe Bryant, both from
Yep,
that
two of them
series.
right there. Just so
Crazy.
many greats in that series, and it was just so memorable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move into number 2 with Game 4 in the 2004 ALCS. A very iconic one between the Yankees and the Red Sox. All I can remember is Dave Roberts, taking that stolen bag and, setting the game in motion for the Red Sox to take home the win. Obviously, Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers now. And the rest was history after that. Ortiz hit the walk-off home run, and they took the series home in, 4-3. I mean, Jack, I know you're a huge Sox fan, so what does that game mean to you?
That game is, if I had some point in history to go back to, it's Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, where Dave Roberts is just sitting at first base, and he has his arm down between his legs, and he's sitting there. He has that look in his eye. He gets thrown over to first once or twice, and the entire world knows that he's going on the first pitch. Everyone knows. The catcher knows. The pitcher knows. Freaking China knows, and he takes it anyway. And then Kevin Millar hits him in. And it's all done. It was a fantastic, seeing Ortiz finish it off. The band of idiots that came together and pushed the Sox to their first championship in 86 years. I unfortunately was too young to see it, but if there's one point to go back to, I would love to see that. That would be crazy.
Agreed. I mean, most iconic probably in Sox history. I mean, if I were you, Jack, yeah, I would go back in a heartbeat. I mean, I'd probably do the same. Just crazy to think about. I mean, a lot of the moments that have happened were really young, but you still look back and think that you were still like well and knowing that you could be at Fenway Park and watch that game.
Incredible.
All right, so here we go. Number 1. We're throwing it back to Super Bowl 51 between the Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. One of the best Super Bowls in history. It was the first Super Bowl to go into overtime. All I can remember is Robert Alford picking off Tom Brady and making it a 28-3 game. And then all of a sudden, you see Julian Edelman make the catch that was inches away from the ground. You see James White heading into the end zone, not once but twice, and just it was a surreal game. I just don't understand. I can't fathom how Bill Belichick and the Patriots pulled it off.
It's incredible. I remember it's 21-3, and I'd thrown my hat at the ground, and I'm pouting in my chair, and it's done. No team's ever done this before. I remember sitting through the halftime show, and I couldn't even enjoy it. I think it was Lady Gaga or whatever was performing, something like that. And and then the Patriots come back. You see Tom Brady get into his groove that he always gets in, but it's a little different this time. It's a little bit harder. And then James White comes in and he starts running. And then Hightower comes in. He's with the strip sacks, and it all comes together. And all of a sudden, it's a tie game. And once it's a tie game, the game is over. Once that toss went up and they said it is heads, they might as well said the Super Bowl is the Patriots, because there was no stopping the train that was Tom Brady on that day. He went down, finished it like that. Brady got his 6th. Brady got his 5th. Ooh, apologize.
Yep. 6 was the Rams, I want to say. Yeah, not as Rams Super Bowl was definitely not as entertaining.
That was my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean 13-3. So yeah, that's our top 5. Rams Titans at 5, Kings and Rangers Game 7 at 4. Oh wait, NBA Finals at 3. The 2004 Game 4 ALCS between the Yankees and the Red Sox at number 2, and at number 1, Super Bowl 51 between the Pats and the Falcons. And an honorable mention that unfortunately didn't make our list probably would be up there would be the 2013 Game 6 of the World Series between the Cardinals and Red Sox. Excuse me, just blanked on right there. But Shane Victorino, Johnny Gomes, some iconic players, and a wonderful game to, cap off another band of idiots making a miracle run.
Yeah, no, that team was definitely my favorite sports team that's ever came through Boston, the 2013 Red Sox. Every player had a personality. You had the beards going, you had everything just perfect. And they're this city that's been, put down by terrorist acts, and seeing, a city come together and seeing, a sports team put a city on their back and, give them a little bit something more to, go to. it was crazy. I love that team. You know, that game 6 wasn't really a nail biter, but it was special seeing the Red Sox at Fenway, you know, win a championship.
Agreed. So, yeah, that's our honorable mention, and that was our top 5 list. If you guys have any other thoughts or think there was a lot of games that probably we missed, and if you think there's any games that should be added to this top 5, maybe make it a top 10, just let us know. That's going to wrap it up for this session of our first virtual and remote episode of The Rundown. Once again, I'm Brett Schaubs alongside Jack Ryan.